Here at Sunbelt Media Days, joined now by Georgia State head coach Dell McGee. Coach McGee, thank you for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me, Brady.
So, not to start off on a sore subject, but I did a little bit of research before. Last year was the 5th losing season you'd ever had as a player or a coach in your career. Not a usual phenomenon. Does that kind of shape how you went in this offseason of just you're not used to losing, you don't like losing? Last year needed to be an aberration?
I don't think no one in our profession really likes to lose. Being able to compete at the highest level, playing in the NFL and the SEC, where my teeth are kind of cut. Winning is the expectation. That's how we're kind of looked upon. But there's other wins that I feel like our players and our new team have accomplished. Our guys are doing an outstanding job of community service and giving back and being selfless of their time. We had the highest GPA that Georgia State football has had this past spring, which I commend our academic staff and our players for upholding that standard. And then just with our new hires at offensive coordinator and defense coordinator, it brings a lot of enthusiasm to our team. So really excited about this team. Got 77 new players to the program, 43 via the portal, 34 high school guys. So there's a great mix of youthfulness, a lot of energy, some experience from the portal guys. And we also bring back 45 guys from our previous roster too. So just getting that continuity and getting everyone on the same page is something that we've been doing this summer, really trying to connect on a deeper level. And that will continue through summer and fall camp, which I'm very, very excited for. Get a chance to establish roles and how guys are going to be utilized and just where we are and what's our identity going to be on in all 3 phases.
So every indication, quarterback battle going on, multiple guys can win the job, but the one player who was back from last year, Christian Bayer, what did you want him to focus on this offseason through the spring and through the summer and now getting into fall camp? Was it a focus on here's the things you did in these games when we beat Vandy, we beat Texas State, or was it looking at these are the things that we needed to make a change in the middle of the season because this is what was happening in games?
Yeah, we took a deep dive into self-scouting. It wasn't all Christian's fault. Things we did offensively, we were asking him to do some things that we probably shouldn't have asked him to do. Decision making is probably the biggest thing coming out of spring ball and into the summer, making great decisions with the ball. It's okay to not take a sack and just pull it down and go get whatever yards you can get. Don't force the ball, and making sure our reads and our progressions are cleaner from a play calling standpoint are things that we kind of address spring ball and now summer, and that'll lead into fall camp. So there's not one little thing that we really concentrate on. His footwork, getting faster and stronger, which he has done this offseason. He was very impressive in workouts, and looking for a more experienced player, a more confident player, but it's not all on the quarterback. That's one thing we got to make sure we don't put too much on him. We have good players at all the skill positions. Feel like we've upgraded on the offensive line, which that's where we have to be the most productive and efficient. And the hiring of Bryant Ross has been a great asset to our team, our offensive line, our offensive staff really have a good bond and work well together. And all those things are in the offensive hands, not only just the quarterback, but the entire offense. So we're not putting too much on Christian. He don't have to win the game himself. So it's just those things, just decision making.
Working through the rest of the offense, brought in a lot of running backs, some with G5 experience, productive backs there, a couple of guys from the SEC, and some freshmen coming in who I believe both enrolled early. A lot of options there, and I guess is the most important thing, just that you probably won't run out of depth there. You've got options for whatever kind of role you're looking for, and then also just how long does it take for it to turn from a competition to, all right, maybe we're going to use this guy in this role because this is what he's best suited for, and finding those specialized roles for those guys?
Yeah, sure. A lot of that will be answered in fall camp once we get in the pads and things of that sort. I do know what they've done in the past. What they've done in the past doesn't necessarily carry over, so those roles will be identified and defined during fall camp, and the best players will play. So it won't be one particular person. I do feel like we do have good depth at that position, experience, and guys are hungry. So a lot of those things will kind of play out and get defined as we go through fall camp. And I'm just very happy with that group. I think they all possess different things and will add value to our team from an offense perspective, but also from a special teams perspective, from the kick return game and playing on special teams. Just got a lot more speed and size in that room now.
And moving on to the wide receivers, obviously THERSday is here. A lot of attention paid his way this year, getting accolades, first team All-Sun Belt, and alongside the preview magazines as well. How do you see how he's handled the last year from the end of the year to now, and especially now that he is getting this attention and he might get a lot of attention from opposing defensive coordinators as they're getting ready to play Georgia State?
Yeah, he's really attacked the offseason. He's really been very cognizant of learning the game, coverages, understanding leverage, just working on the little things that he really needed to detail out. Coach Jackson and Coach Craig has done a great job of getting him in the film room, making sure he understands those little nuances to improve and take his game to the next level. And he's been like a sponge this summer, really embracing his role and understanding that he is our number one target, but also he knows that he will allow other players to have success because certain teams will try to take him away. And we got to make sure we hit our shots with him when teams play him one-on-one or they give us a favorable matchup.
And talking about the tight end room, lose Dorian Fleming, but even in the moment, you said you could just turn around to next player and say, I think it was something like, here's 48 catches and the numbers you can give, and you can be a part of this offense. And you bring in Camden Overton, but also have guys coming back. Where do you see that room at heading into this fall?
Yeah, Camden Overton has really done a good job this summer and this spring. He's put on some more weight. He's around 250, 255. Really a good person. Very hardworking. He is a leader. He's very enthusiastic. Winning matters. How he does his job matters. He really takes it to heart. So very competitive spirit. Also with the returning guys, Avion McBride, Lane Waddle, and we also added Wesley from ULM, who's also learning what we're doing, getting acclimated to how we do things, and I feel like we will be able to get in heavier packages with those guys. And like I say, the fall camp will be what we define our team and find our identity and really what's going to be best suited for the Georgia State Panthers in 2025.
And you mentioned a fair amount of new players, but you actually did keep a fair amount of stability with the defensive line and the linebackers. You bring back Deuce, you bring back Henry, who is here with us. You bring back Ian Matthews. The linebackers, you bring back Demaine and Josiah Robinson. Can that be an asset for you, that you have some experience coming back? And there's a new defensive coordinator, but you've got those guys that have played together.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, the 45 guys that we retained that came back from last year, they understand the standard. They kind of laid the groundwork. They were involved in those, 4 one-possession games that we didn't come out on the winning edge on. So they understand that. They understand how we work. They're going to hold our new guys and our freshmen accountable, and that's a credit to them. Also a credit to our coaches for retaining those guys in this transfer portal world with all the poaching and things of that sort. It's a very tough deal to kind of maneuver, and we're just trying to be the best at doing it at our level and not creating excuses. It's just part of the new age of college football right now, and we just got to make sure that the guys that we do lose, we can replace them, and the guys that we can retain, we need them in the program, but their retention adds value to our entire roster because you don't have to reteach how we watch tape, how we do walkthroughs, what's the expectation in the locker room. So it's wanted, needed, and very appreciative of those returners.
and more of a new look secondary, some of which you can help because some guys just ran out of eligibility. But you also bring in Coach Pearson, who has a defensive background. Has there been anything more schematically or just on the coaching side that he has helped bring to this team in his early days as the DC?
Yeah, he's very, very passionate. I think the kids have really gravitated to him. He has a beautiful personality. He's very demanding, but he also brings a wealth of experience in this conference. He's been on a coordinator in this league, but he's also been in this conference, and he's been part of a top defense in this conference. So his knowledge, his passion for the game, and just how he communicates with our players is very welcoming, and I thought it was a very key hire for us, especially after losing Darren Wilson to Florida so late. So very fortunate to have Travis.
And with the specialists, you bring in Reed Chandy from the FCS. You also, I guess the other part of the bringing in so many guys from running back and receiver is you've got options of someone who could be pretty fresh as a returner, who maybe isn't playing as much in that on the offense, but can be an impact weapon in the specialist in the return game.
Yeah, we added a lot of depth at every position. I feel like every position has competition, but with that depth, it does add special teams value for our entire roster. So we should improve in all phases of the kicking game because of that depth and just defining the roles for those guys with the experience at returning punts and kicks, and also the freshmen who will get their feet wet kind of in the special teams areas because they do have elite size and speed, and that's an opportunity for them to kind of learn and embrace their role before they can kind of matriculate into playing time on offense and defense.
And record aside and goals aside, what would success look like for you in year two?
Really, we want to get through those first 4 games and just kind of see how that tough 4-game stretch turns out. Go into the bye week, hopefully extremely healthy, get into conference play, and really maximize that opportunity once things kind of level off. The Sun Belt Conference is a very tough conference, but even thinking back to last year, we were in 4 games we could have won and went to a bowl game. So the motto has been to finish. That's on our shirts in the weight room and on the back of our shirts that we work out in. So I think our kids have embraced that. So I don't really have a win total number, but I do feel like we do have a good roster with good coaches. Now it's just up to us to put a plan in place that's going to create success on the field. As long as our kids understand just process the little things and the standard is the standard, I think we'll be fine.
And the last thing, something I've been asking every coach here today, what's a piece of advice you've received over your career that's made you a better football coach?
Enjoy when you do win. I was at a place where we won, but it wasn't enjoyable at times. So I've gotten that from several coaches that kind of came off of that tree of, when you win, you better celebrate it because they're hard to come by. So we're going to definitely celebrate our wins, and we will put a time limit on it, but just embracing winning.
Coach McGee, thanks for the time. Best of luck this season.
All right, thanks.